So let's see where the road takes us. Well, the road's taking us already on the wrong track with the buttons. Button box. There we go. I think this will do it.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
and Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just two boys without man buns.
What's happening? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Every single week I say I'm going to switch out that imaging that says I'm afraid of my girlfriend, basically. But I don't do it. Brad's out today. He's on vacation. He's going to finally go see his family. In with me is comedian Andrew George from Atlanta. And I guess he intern Jordan. You're just going to be intern Jordan forever, I guess.
For the rest of my life. I don't know. I hope not.
You sound so dejected about it, Jordan.
Dude, it's whatever.
Is life just kicking you in the nuts right now?
It's one of those days.
Oh, it is?
It's one of those days.
So what happened? What is one of those days?
I've been in isolation for 3 months now, and it's just starting to get to me.
Why?
It's pruning
Why are
my
you
brain.
isolated?
I just moved. I don't know. I took the leap on my own.
Yeah.
Bit off a little more than I could chew, and
Los Angeles has a way of humbling people pretty quickly financially.
yeah, I was about to say, dig your pockets out. It's fine.
Wait, no, let's dig more into it. We're going to talk to Andrew George. We have plenty of time today on the show to explore everybody's issues. Jordan, let's get into yours first because you just seem so dejected and seem so sad. Let's make something productive out of it. Let's turn it into content, Jordan. That's how the radio machine works.
Yep. I kept myself up last night. Because today was like this. I don't know. I don't know what is making up on today or why there's been this big buildup.
Why? So you just don't know? It's just you just feel like something's gonna go down today?
I don't know. I mean, okay, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
The potential for school starting is coming back, which I'm like, God, am I gonna fall back into that? Which is like, why am I talking about school like that?
Right. Well, yeah, because one, because school's kind of a scam.
Right.
Andrew, did you go to college?
Yeah, I was an intern at a radio station. And now here I am at 2 p.m. on a Thursday, so clearly everything is going well for me.
It's going great.
Yeah, I'm at my cubicle right now, my job. Oh, no, wait, don't have one. So
Yeah, you're out. You're just comedianing it up right
yeah,
now.
I'm just hanging out. It's nice.
Traveling around.
Doing the comedy life.
See, I went
Free
to
spirit.
I went to college for both undergrad and graduate school, and I think both of them. I mean, they were important for me in terms of like having fun in my life, but in terms of me leaving those situations feeling like I walked out of there like, yeah, you should totally trust me to do. No, I don't know. I didn't retain any of the knowledge that I was supposed to learn. I wasn't really trying very hard. So I feel like I just dug myself a hole for the purposes of credit.
But you got that paper. You got that diploma.
I mean, but it doesn't
Look,
do
I
it.
mean,
You can
look,
have mine.
there you
I
go.
don't know where mine is right
right?
now.
See,
it could
no,
be
I will-
anywhere. No one's asked to see it. No one's asked me if I was smart even. They're like, you go to college? And I just convincingly nod and they're like, good enough.
See, I think that's the ultimate, and we've made it easier now to check up on people's college degrees, and no one does it. No one does it. Imagine, and we've been holding this scam together just by shoestrings for years, where 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you'd have to make a phone call to check up on someone's references. No one's doing that. We're still the same amount of lazy.
Right.
Now all you gotta do is Google somebody. And no one's ever asked me to prove it. They just take my word for it on my crappy resume.
And of course, my family says I can't lie about having a resume or about having a degree.
Why do you listen to your
Lie
family?
to them about you having one. That's the only person you have to lie to.
Yeah,
is
that's
your
a good
parents.
point.
Be like, oh, I graduated.
Just need
Oh,
a
they did
bigger
like
picture.
a speedy graduation because
Yeah.
like, oh, there's too many people in the class this year. So I'll just like text you some pictures of it. It was a good ceremony.
Right, you could just Google image it with Photoshop. We could just make you one.
Yeah. Oh, this is a far shot. We couldn't get any close-ups. I'm in there.
I mean, Mom, it was the University of Georgia. There's like 30,000 people there.
No, but my grandma, she says, no, I mean, a brain surgeon's not going to perform brain surgery without a degree. Like, what if he lied? I'm like,
Well,
That's
I
a
mean,
very specific
it's
example.
a very different. It's a
I mean, I guess
very different situation.
I guess to a certain extent, I'm just hoping that in the medical profession, they do things like called extensive interviews in front of panels.
Background
and stuff.
checks.
I'm not talking about getting I'm just talking about you want to work in just like the accounting department
Right.
as like an entry level, just you know how to use Excel. You don't have to like, though I wish you would. At your cubicle, don't you kind of wish you had your diploma and just tack that sucker up on whatever completely remedial, mundane job you had and you just staple that thing to the wall and people walk in like, Oh, Jesus, this guy's got a master's degree. What a
Well, yeah, but it's got hot sauce on it, so I don't know if it counts. He's been carrying it around to every job
it's
he's
in
ever
a
had.
nice wood frame for no reason, just really framed up there on the side of a shared cubicle. That's even better. Shared. They're like, whose is it? Oh, ask jerk off over here who put it up on the side of his wall. We work at Enterprise Rent a Car.
I get it, cute kid, but can you take that out in that picture? There's not room for mine now.
Cute kid. It's not even mine. I just put up other things on there. So why? But I'm fascinated by you said that you can't lie about having a diploma because your mom says you can't.
It's
That
not
is
just my-
so
no,
that
it's
is
not
so
just my
southern of you.
mom.
That is so
Okay.
southern of you because as a skeptic from the West Coast, I wouldn't give a flying whatever about what my mom said.
Any advice right now is coming in from over the phone.
Yeah. So now are they trying to get you? Are they trying to convince you to come home, or are they good with you being gone?
They flip flop. I never know. Are there ulterior motives? I don't know.
Well, of course they want you to
I'm
come
pretty
home.
sure they're trying to get me back.
They don't believe in your show business dream.
Right. And the second that they were like, okay, well, I mean, like, if you want to stay out there, I started to cave in.
Well, yeah, I can see it on your face. You're dejected. You've already
I
left.
know. I feel like
Jordan, you've
I'm
already left.
so defeated.
Andrew's
dude.
already left, right?
I feel
so
like we have 2
defeated.
minutes left to convince you to drop out of college and chase your dream.
Yeah. Someday you're either going to thank us or you're going to curse the ground we walk on.
This is going to be your almost moment. You're going to be sitting in your sad cubicle and be like, I had some headphones on. I tasted
Wow.
freedom for 30 seconds.
I was in a radio station in Los
right.
Angeles doing a show in the afternoon.
But at the end of the day, I'm still a baby. I mean, I always bring that
You're
up
listening
again.
to your
I
family
always
too
bring
much.
that up again.
You're no
I know.
baby. How old are you, 20?
No, I'm 19.
19, so you're turning
That's what I'm
20.
saying. Like,
Oh,
I
you're
took the leap a little too soon.
Yeah,
which
that is pretty
In the moment, I was, cocky and, F you guys.
Yeah, a lot of
moving
jibber
across
jabber.
country.
I mean, you're the only intern at the Burt Show I think I've ever heard of who's been put on probation and almost fired, and somehow they liked you. That's an amazing feat.
It's fine. It's fine. And I guess I'll just keep doing internships. We'll see where it takes us. And
Lifelong intern.
maybe Atlanta, maybe
But
LA.
would you be happy going back to Atlanta?
I just
Because you're going to go
need
back.
the stability. Like that's what Atlanta's offering me right
Yeah.
now. It's kind of an escape.
Well, the thing is this. I remember this from my freshman year of college, the summer between. Because did you leave for school, Andrew? Did you go?
Yeah, I went to a school like 3 hours away.
Okay, 3 hours. I went to a school 3 states away.
Oh, the same.
So I remember going back home to Whidbey Island, Washington, from going to school in California, and I remember that the first night of that summer that I was home, I stayed at some girl's house. Her name was Alexis. I stayed at Alexis's house. And because I was like, yo, I'm a grown-up now, man. I'm 18 years old. I don't live under your roof except for the summer because I was out of the dorms. And I remember I was coming up the driveway, and my mom was coming down, and she pulled to the side, and she goes, if this is how you're going to live this summer, we might need to talk about you staying somewhere else. And I was like, damn.
Day one.
Yeah, I mean, she
Throwing you
laid the
out.
law down. Yeah, which at the time, I was like, fine, I don't care. But then I was like, I don't really want to get in a fight with my mom. And I guess she was just mad because it was the first night home. And I was like, yeah, but Alexis is a lifeguard. I mean, like she's a lifeguard at a pool.
I mean,
I saw her at this weird party. She was like, do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, well, I literally have no reason why I cannot go back to your place because I'm a damn grown up now. So are you going to be okay if you get back there? Because you've had like full carte blanche freedom.
Right. No, and I have, but it's like, what? You can only do so much with freedom when you're alone.
Yeah, anything.
True.
You can literally do anything in the world. That's the greatest part about freedom is you could 100% just like drive to Mexico and just go to Mexico for a couple days. And no one has to know. You could go to the beach. You could go anywhere. Why are you just sitting in your whatever kind of place you live? Which I assume has bunk beds for some reason. Probably because you called yourself still a baby. Well, I can tell by that sigh you're not super happy about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's all I can say. That's all I know to say at this point.
No one in the history of the world has ever been like, I don't know, it's fine.
It's fine.
This is
Best day ever.
It's going to be great. Jordan's going to be like, I feel like you're going to be super, super annoyed today, which is a perfect character for you, Jordan.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
What's happening? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. If you want to track us down on social media, I am at Mood Points. Andrew George, comedian from Atlanta, in on the show today. Andrew, what is your social media?
I am Andrew.George. It was a period.
Yeah.
But you get it.
Andrew.George.
Yeah. Andrew period George. On Instagram, on Twitter, it's Uncle Andy Pants. And I don't check that, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Jordan.
At Jordan Solly.
At Jordan Solly.
Heck yeah, the one and only.
Are you pretty? Do you keep yours consistent across the board?
Absolutely.
So everyone can find you. See, Andrew, I always struggle finding because when we do shows together, we do shows together in Atlanta. By the way, if you're free, August 24th. Mad Life stage and studio in Woodstock, Georgia.
I might be there.
7:30 and 10.
I might be there.
You know what? I'm gonna pull a Goodwill Hunting move right now, and it's gonna be like that Ben Affleck speech where he's like, "Every day, kid, I show up at your door and I knock, and I hope you don't answer. I hope you're not here." So that's what I'm thinking for Woodstock. But every time I try to tag Andrew in a Instagram post, I'm like, I keep typing in Andrew. I'm like, I haven't. And then it's like Uncle Andy Pants. And I'm like, oh, man.
So confusing and very stupid, and I should change it.
What's the story behind Uncle Andy Pants?
There isn't one, and that's why it's so much fun for me.
Just shoot that because are
why
you an
not?
uncle at all?
No, I have no nieces or nephews.
Wow, yeah, that's a real.
Yeah.
That one's out of left
I
field.
give off the vibe of Uncle Jesse and Uncle Joey had a baby. So it's kind of like that.
Was that ever like a joke in stand-up for you or no?
No.
Oh, so you didn't make that horrid mistake?
No.
Okay, thank God.
I'm trying to blend those two right now.
What?
That's Uncle Jesse
And Uncle Joey, if they finally had the kid that we all wanted them to
Like
have.
he's got Uncle.
It would be me.
He's got Uncle Jesse look, Uncle Joey swag.
like a prude heartbreaker. Like I'm just like
a prude heartbreaker.
prude heartbreaker.
So Andrew is a runner, a big time runner.
Yes.
When did you because how many marathons have you run?
I've ran 5 marathons and a slew of half marathons.
Yeah,
which that doesn't count.
Well, the half marathons, well, you can suck it for that one. Because when I ran the half marathon, I ran the Orange County half marathon, and I didn't really train much. I was doing that. I did that Brawl for a Cause boxing fundraiser. Oh, which you were at.
Yeah, I did my first boxing class this morning. My hands hurt real bad.
Yeah, I can see your hand wraps.
Yeah.
That'll get these. But you feel tough though, don't you?
I feel like a warrior.
Like a man.
Yeah.
That's your Uncle Jesse
It was
coming
an
out.
all-women's class, but I feel like a warrior
You're the
man right now.
Uncle Jesse of
it
that class.
may have been a self-defense class. Now that I'm looking back on it,
You're like they showed you how to. Now, if they punched you hard, you can break the wrist down.
It was at Curves, but
we'd had to bring our own pepper spray, but it was a very fun class.
We learned safe words. We yelled no every time we punched. It was taught by the same guy who did the class in the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez. As sure as he is a coward, he will stand over you. Jordan's like,
I'm gonna give you that fake laugh.
So Jennifer Lopez is a person who used to act in films.
She's a fly girl. She was a fly girl. I ran the half marathon. And all I'd been doing was training for that charity fight. Which I want to talk about the reason that you were there, which is funny because your boss, because Marshall Childs from the Laughing Skull was there. But first, I like wildly overestimated like my shape that I was in. I'm a cardiovascular wise, I was fine, but boxing, you just kind of get good at cardio. But I also put on weight in terms of like muscle and just not running fit. And I'm at about mile 7, I felt great. And then mile 8, my brother was like starting to prance off because Patrick's built like a deer, like a baby deer just prancing through a field. It's so annoying. You just want to slap him. And he was like, I could see him filming me, like struggling. And by mile 20, I couldn't even, or mile 10, felt like mile 20. I was like cross country skiing, like just moving my feet down the. I remember, and you didn't say this. I think Bob Place, comedian Bob Place, another great guy from Atlanta who works at the Laughing Skull. He was like, I go, what are you guys doing? He goes like, when else you get to see your boss get punched in the face? And I was like, that's a great answer.
We paid hundreds of dollars for these charity tickets just to see our boss get punched for 3 minutes, which so much fun.
And he won the fight.
He won. He beat up this old man, which out of context sounds like something you shouldn't be doing.
No.
It's for charity.
Yeah,
It's
it was
fine.
like a cockfight with people.
Well, it really was.
It was so sloppy. No one was really like,
dude.
it was just... Oh, it was amazing and beautiful.
The most humbling thing I've ever done in my life from 2 different facets. One in the ring, man, I felt like I was in the middle of a Rocky movie, right? Like, it was terrifying. I was exhausted. Like, you get punched and actually, like, you see stars a little bit every once in a while, but you don't want to get a standing 8 count because I was trying to beat this guy, and he was just a house. This guy was so much stronger than me. Like, he made me look like one of my friends, Andrew Slater, comedian, said, dude, it looked like it was a Make-A-Wish kid fighting a real boxer. And, like, that was your Make-A-Wish. I'm like, man, that's rude but accurate.
Afterwards, when you're looking at the pictures, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know my face flopped around like that.
Yeah, I was like, well, one, they're like, why are you, like, growling? I'm like, I'm trying to breathe, man.
I'm focusing on not dying.
Yeah, 100%. So what the funny part was is that, so you guys went to see him get punched in the face, but then he won.
Yeah.
Which is like, I remember seeing Marshall in the backstage, and he's like, won, and he's like, he won't take his like hand wraps off and his gloves and stuff, and he runs a comedy club, so I was just like, oh, this comedian, because he is a comic too, so you're like, the ego on this guy is gonna be ridiculous. So I remember feeling like the fight went so long. It's 3 2-minute rounds. It felt like it took just ages. Yeah, I felt like I needed a break. I wanted to quit after the second round. I watched the playback on Facebook Live, and it was like over like this, and we looked so unimpressive. It looked so much different than it felt.
Just tired immediately.
Unbelievable. I do remember hearing this. I do remember hearing one where this dude would just go on these like wild like flurries of just beating on me, like just totally unmitigated, just wailing on me. And I remember hearing a girl go like, stop the fight. And I was like, no, this is a strategy. I'm letting this guy get tired. Do not stop the fight.
No.
Like, that is so awful. And I was like, please don't be my girlfriend. Please. And I don't. Was
it?
No, I don't think so. She would never yell something like, I think it was someone from the Burt show. Like, don't kill him. He's gonna like, she felt like Adrian and Rocky. He's got potential.
After that fight, there was also drinks flowing that evening, and there was a silent charity auction. And after a few drinks, I thought it'd be a great idea to bid $850 for a commemorative signed O.J. Simpson Buffalo Bills helmet. And I'm still dodging those calls.
Oh, you won it.
I won it, and I'm just not answering that.
Wow. Well, do you know what
I
the
see
winning
a Stone Mountain number? I'm like, oh, I know what that is.
What was the winning bid?
My only bid of $850.
Oh, no.
No one else wanted that murder memorabilia, and I was like, I'll take a little bit.
Absolutely.
So we went. It was actually. I'm glad you brought that up. It's kind of funny. We went over to my girlfriend's brother-in-law's house. I want to say maybe about a month ago or so, and he had been like dodging all these calls too, but he just wasn't answering his phone if he doesn't know the number, and he goes, yeah, come here and check all this stuff out. He had a Deion Sanders signed helmet, another Tony Gonzalez signed helmet. He had Mike Tyson's Punch-Out original poster with a Nintendo controller and like the actual game all framed, signed by Mike Tyson. What? He spent like $2,500 at this auction and had no recollection of it because he showed out like damn near blackout drunk to this thing.
Oh, I was straight flexing. I was trying to impress everyone. I was like, "Oh, I can get this helmet." No.
I can't wait to go next year. Next year, I've convinced them to let me be a ring announcer, like be in the ring.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, great! You just got to find 1,000. No, I'm kidding. You didn't hold it long enough. I don't think. No. You're good. Okay, so I convinced them to let me just be in the ring. Like I'm gonna be like the And One mixtape guy. Like, just firing them up.
The Flavor Flav of boxing.
Yeah, just to be able to actually enjoy the night. Because I came out of that thing all welted up and all like beaten and tired, and everyone I know is just hammered, having a great time, and I'm like walking around, and then they want to go out and party, and I remember I ordered like 3 pizzas to show up at the house, and I put down about a half a bottle of vodka, and still I was just like not having as much fun as you guys.
Just gotta lay down.
Segment 3 coming. We didn't even talk about why you're a runner, Andrew. That's how we're gonna kick this one off.
Yeah.
Because I'm fascinated. Jordan, do you have any other fun stories?
No.
Have you
sleep deprivation?
Sleep deprivation?
Yeah.
Have you pulled yourself out of your sadness yet? We're coming to it,
it's
right?
A slippery slope.
It's getting better.
No. Yeah, I will come out of it.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote.
This better not get me in trouble.
And I don't care. I'm not a pussy.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just 2 boys without man buns.
It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. We were just talking about Andrew's obsession with running.
Yes, got to get them endorphins in.
His big, I've done a slew of half marathons.
I'm not saying I'm better than you, but if I were, it'd be ballpark of 100%. It's just mathematically.
I think the statute of limitations has run out on this one, that I can confess, because I was supposed to run the Atlanta half marathon. I'd run it 1 year, and then I was just super hungover, and it was like right when I started dating my girlfriend, and I was like at her house. We were at the Elbow Room on the Friday night, and I had gotten you like free entry to it because you just like to run.
I just like to do it.
And that's amazing.
It's just fun.
Like I hit him up. I don't know anyone else who wants to run, and I'm like, dude, do you want to run in this half marathon, the Georgia half marathon? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, and I signed him up for it, and he got. I mean, I think they gave you like a voucher for shoes or something, maybe.
Yeah, I got a free pair of shoes or like $100 off a pair of shoes, and then access to the full marathon.
Yeah.
And then I got to run that. And my brother's bachelor party was the night before, so the first half of it, I was pretty drunk.
You're insane. So I just completely bailed on it. And I was doing like an endorsement for it. But also like I had felt like I had done everything I needed to do. Like the year before, I'd run it and like Instagram lived some of the pain and talked to people who listened to the radio show. But I mean, if you're getting paid to do all the advertisements and part of it is free entry, and I think it was like not a lot of money that I got paid. I made all these excuses why I wasn't gonna do it. And then it was like I slowly tricked myself into not running it. At first I was like, I'm not going down and running that thing. I'm not gonna start it. I looked at the course the night before, all drunk at the Elbow Room in Buckhead.
Very hilly.
Yeah, and I was like, nah. But then I found out where like mile 6 was. I'm like, I can get through I can get through 6 miles. They start at 7. I could run with the slow folk, so I got to be down there. They start at like, what, 6:30 or something? I'll be there 2 hours later, and I'll just pull in the rear, and I'll just make a stop by the Atlanta Track Club tent. I woke up the next morning, and it was one of those things where I was so drunk, like I couldn't open my eyes all the way, and I was still wobbling. And I couldn't find my shoes, and I just went right back to sleep. And I didn't care. And I just was like, what are the odds? No one's going to notice. No one's going to care.
They noticed and cared.
They did. They did notice. And they didn't notice. They noticed they couldn't find me. But they didn't know what happened. Because they noticed that I never checked in at the they make you go. This is the worst part about marathons. You have to go to the convention center like early, like the day before. I don't want to do that.
No, pick up your bib and because they want to sell you stuff there. They have all the tents set up and they're like, well, while you're here, buy some shorts.
Hey, you look like you like fitness.
Yeah.
You want
to be on my email list?
Protein bar?
Don't worry, it will be annoying.
Yeah, you can't opt out. We don't have that button. So I was like, I'm not going down on a Thursday or Friday to the Georgia Convention Center. I'm just not going to do it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just run it without a number. I really don't care about that. So So I never checked in for it, and they had asked me, and I'm like, no, Andrew checked in for it for sure. Then I just never showed up. And like a couple weeks later, I get an email from one of our salespeople, and he's like, hey, man, the Atlanta Track Club just hit us up. Did you run the marathon? I'm like, yeah. Why wouldn't I run the half marathon?
Still sore.
Yeah, man, hurt. And he goes, oh, because they don't have you never picked up your number. I was like, well, yeah, I just don't do that, man. I don't need... Like, I'm not someone who, I just want to run it. I don't really care, which this is actually true. I've never picked up the number for anything I've run.
Replacement numbers.
No, I don't. Yeah. What am I, trying to qualify for anything? I just want to get through the course. And I have also jumped in on some races I never paid for, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like, you need, did you really? And I'm like, yeah, of course I did. And then I went to Andrew's Instagram because you had a picture. And I'm like, yeah, I can't find any pictures of me. But here's a picture. Here's a picture of Andrew from my comedian friend who I was on my team, and here's a picture you can send to him. And they sent it to him, and so apparently that was sufficient
enough.
And then I moved out to LA, so I didn't get asked to do it again, but also I didn't do it. But I did run the Orange County half marathon. Like I told you, I was snow or cross country skiing towards the end.
Yeah.
Here's where that whole bib thing backfired on me. I didn't get my bib. And I ran all 13 miles, and I'm coming through the home stretch, and I'm on Instagram Live for the OC Marathon and the credit union, the San Diego Credit Union. And I'm on Instagram Live, like, guys, and some dude grabs me and he's like, where's your number? And he like forces me off the raceway outside. So I never get to go through the area to get a medal.
Oh, that sucks.
So I next year I have to like somehow redeem myself.
You got robbed.
It was the worst. What got you into running?
I figured one day that there needed to be less of me. And
Wait,
gym
were you-
memberships, I was a big fat fatty.
You were a fat kid.
Oh my goodness. Imagine what I am now plus 55 pounds.
Which would be big on you, because how tall are you?
5'7".
You're 5'7", like 130 pounds.
I was like a regular Danny DeVito.
Really?
Oh man,
I
it
bet
was
you
not
were
a good look.
Were you doing comedy at that time or no?
Yeah, I was so much better too.
You were probably
Oh my
slaying.
goodness, I was murdering. And now I just go out there like, look at this handsome guy.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You
what he
lost
has to say.
55 pounds and 2.5 hours of material.
Yeah, now I'm just some dude.
Really just another guy.
Yeah, I think he's the last comic.
So you started running to lose weight and
And yeah, then I got hooked on the endorphins and feeling good and not paying for a gym membership.
yeah. I think the thing about running is, so I'm like, I was a kid who fluctuated in weight, which my mom called it, I grew like an accordion, which was enraging.
Yeah.
She's like, you're like an accordion, Brian. You'd get big and then you'd lengthen out. And I'm like, Mom, stop
Such a
making
fun way to
this
call your
sound
kid fat.
right. Just awful though. And she's like, I'm like, don't dress it up, Mom. Like this, some summers I swim with a shirt on and some I don't. That's how I go with it. I cycle in and out. So I think for me, like, I'm 235 right now. I'm a little bit on the heavier side than I'd like to be. And I loved running when I ran the full marathon. I was 200, like 195. And it was great because my knees didn't hurt. And I was like, man, I could do this forever. When you start distance running again, because when I moved to Atlanta, that was off the table.
Yeah.
It's
hot, it's wet.
Oh my God. Sometimes I'd walk outside to go running and it's like the weather just kicked me right in the junk and I was like, not going to do this. You just walk into a wall. It's like an armpit. You walked into Mother Nature's armpit. And I'm not going to do it. And then once you start running again, but you're heavier than you were when you remember liking running,
So much harder.
God, it sucks.
It's not fun at all.
It's the worst because you remember what it should feel like, or you remember what you could have put the speed. Treadmills will kill you. I hate them.
I don't mess with them because you can't get in that meditative state that you get whenever you run outside when you just kind of start focusing on, oh, that's a pretty tree. Oh, Kanye's killing it in my headphones.
Too stationary.
Yeah, but on the treadmill, you're very aware that you're working out.
And because it keeps track of all your
Yeah,
stats.
you're like, oh, I'm exercising right now.
It's
and
like,
that's your
oh,
only thought. Not,
80
this is nice. I'm having a good time.
86 calories. That's
Yeah.
great. That I've only burned that in. I'm running 11-minute miles right now. Because in my head, and when I'm running out in the community, I'm like Kenyan
Can I
level
get to that
crushing.
thing? Is that dog gonna bite me? What's that smell?
What's that weird? Am I running weird? Which, yes, because I just saw a video of myself boxing, and I thought I looked normal doing that. Not even close.
Nope.
I look like a big lumbering oaf. I'll never make fun of people running or boxing again after I saw myself athletically trying to crush it. Like, I never want to see what I look like if I get ambushed or something in front of a convenience store and they get the security footage. And I'm like, man, I remember being way cooler than that.
Who won the fight? That guy that's crying over there.
See the dude who tore his
That's him.
ACL?
That one.
That would be how I would get killed in like some sort of security camera. The guy would jump out with a gun. I'd have the jump on him to get out of there, and then I end up twisting my ankle and falling down and breaking my neck. And the guy with the gun would be like, "I didn't do it.
That wasn't me.
I swear to God, this guy had it coming. He did something else. That curb is the perpetrator." Boom. Last segment. Here we go. What was I gonna? Oh yeah. I have what? I just was thinking about something, marathon related. Yep. Here we go. It involves college kids, Jordan. You'll be one of those. You'll be one of those again soon. Can you just? I'm gonna save your sighs of sadness.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan, rolling into segment 4. It feels like this has gone so fast. It just feels like we're cruising. We're cruising along like comedian Andrew George in studio, jogging on a marathon. I hate it.
Oh
when
no, people are
do
gonna
that.
think I do cruise ships now.
Oh, cruise ship comedian.
No.
Cruise ship comedian Andrew George. No, I hate it when radio people do that, where they try to make too much of a connection between what they do, like cruising along, and just like Jordan's cruising, maybe cruising back to Georgia for his birthday and next year of college.
No comment. It's fine. I mean,
I'm not.
I'm coping with it.
I feel like we've evolved to like at first we were just like, come on, dude, you can do it. To now we're like, I'm gonna break your spirit a little bit. To like, just I'm gonna see where you're at. I'm gonna see where your fighting spirit's at.
Position by the end of
Your
this.
fighting spirit. Yeah. If we were doing like a full 8 segments today, Jordan wouldn't make it through the end of it.
No.
So do you have any running aspirations to? Are you like a guy who looks at this like I want to run the Boston Marathon?
Nah.
You don't want to like you just do it for fun.
I just do it for fun and so that T-shirts still fit.
And you're not attempting to qualify?
Nah, I'm good.
What about? See, there's like here's the thing though. I actually honestly would try to get back in shape, like marathon shape. I've only done a marathon once, and that was in Seattle. And the last 3 miles were absolutely devastating. I was terrified I was going to poop my pants the whole time.
That's the thing. In order to be fast, you have to like cater your diet to that, and I'll eat a jar of Nutella in a sitting. Most of my food is fried. I eat like a third grader on vacation. Like I don't want to figure out what all the vegetables taste like. That's not in my life.
See, Jordan, that's the freedom we're talking about. You're going to lose.
California.
You're going to lose that freedom. You're going to leave here, and you're going to be back in Georgia, and your mom's going to make you eat like from the actual food groups, not Nutella.
Yeah.
And just like gummy bears, bags of gummy bears.
I've been in California for 6 days. No one's been like, there's no vitamins in that. They're just like, have fun, buddy.
Do it.
Get
Nutella.
in there, champ.
Dip a burger in it. So I actually thought when I went to Paris for Christmas, which was the first vacation I'd taken in my entire life outside of like my parents going like we're going to California when I was a kid. So I was looking, I was like, man, Paris is so cool. And then I saw this flyer or poster thing for the Paris Marathon, and I thought to myself like, yeah, that would be something. It would just give me an excuse to go on a trip, like a goal. But then, man, you're really gonna ruin. You got to run that marathon the first day, right, of that trip, and then
you're just sore the rest of the trip. You don't want to not be able to walk around Paris.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I just get a segue. I feel like you have. You
could rent a bird, just take it over there.
Oh, those birds are amazing.
They're
by the way.
amazing.
Are they all over? I feel
They
like
just made it to Atlanta.
Okay.
I've seen one person get hit on one via car.
I mean, live it up on the birds, guys,
It's
because
not
they
gonna
ain't gonna be around.
I was about to say, I saw a picture of one on I-75.
Wow.
No.
Someone riding it. Yeah, they were getting off the exit right in the middle of downtown.
I mean, because they can't track. I mean, if they institute a fine rule, we're like, yo, if our GPS locators get you on a freeway, we've got your iTunes, bruh. Like, you don't even have to approve this charge. We will. It was funny, man. We rented the first time I'd done the bird scooters was during the West Hollywood Pride, and my brother and I rented them, and we're driving down Fountain Avenue, and Pat like literally looks behind himself. It was like a movie. He's like, "How are these not illegal?" And I'm not even kidding you. On cue, car pulls way too deep into a stop sign intersection, and Pat literally almost goes over the hood of someone's car. And I'm like, yes, these aren't going to be legal for
Which, granted, did y'all follow the rules?
No.
No one does.
Who
I mean,
carries
you're
a
supposed to
helmet?
wear it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Come on.
You brought a helmet from home?
Yeah, what kind of nerd are you?
True.
No.
Who's just walking around with a bike helmet all day?
I wouldn't know where to find a helmet right now. If you gave me an
I know.
hour to bring you a helmet, I couldn't do it. I
more
wouldn't
like-
know where to start.
You know what happened is you'd start like Googling and you'd be like helmet store, and they're like no.
No, what?
And you'd end up
Are those even sold anymore?
in 1 hour. In the 1 hour at minute 56, you'd end up running into a Target, and then you're like, they have them here somewhere. I'm never gonna find. Where do you bury the helmets here?
You need to go on Postmates and have them bring it to the front of the Target for you.
I actually saw one guy riding it with a helmet, and
Nerd.
I know. I was like, I didn't know if I was impressed or depressed for it. You know,
You're
like
allowed to hit them with a car if you see someone with a helmet.
you got the gear on, bro.
Legally, you can.
You got the gear on. I'm looking forward to the absolute fire sale of bird scooters when that company, both them and Lime, when those companies go completely belly up because every city's outlawed you just riding a scooter at 20 miles an hour down the sidewalk with no helmet.
It's half price if it clicks or if it's covered in blood.
Right. You're just going to, you're going to be able to walk. It's going to be hilarious. You're going to walk into warehouses where they just have a pile of bird scooters, and you're just going to have to go like find one that's not too tangled and like the handlebars are straight and stuff. And they're like, I don't know, just plug it in. It's your scooter now. Like, here, give us $80. We're going bankrupt, so we need to try to cover some of our creditors.
It's like an Alfred Hitchcock edition of Black Mirror. Those birds.
See, I wish
That was
that
a pretty good joke I just
was
made.
great.
All right. Anyway,
was
someone
super
listening
smart.
really appreciated that, and everyone else was very annoyed by it.
Well, I remember that. It's a film noir category. I know that from high school. I took a class in film noir.
Ooh.
Film noir, it's
Impressive.
the worst. I got caught falling asleep like 7 times. I watched the movie Vertigo in that too. Pretty great. My girlfriend is one of those people that won't do the bird scooters. Like I tried to
Because
get
she's
her.
afraid of death.
Yeah, like what a loser, right?
Well, I don't want to break my back, so.
She's like, I don't. Why would I do this? I don't want to lose my teeth. I don't want to. I'm like, come on,
Come on.
live a little.
Just do it.
So the reason I brought up that whole marathon, those marathon dreams, was Boston Marathon is pretty cool to go. If you qualify for it, I'm sure it'd be great to run in. But also, it's such a hilarious, like the juxtaposition of athleticism meets complete drunks. Like that intersection is hilarious because Boston College is on like mile 25, not 21, 22, right before you curve in to go down Newton Avenue in Boylston, right? Like the famous Boylston Square. And all the way down Boston College on both sides, it's called Marathon Monday. And all everyone does in the school is just dress up and get hammered.
In the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. And they just get smashed the entire day, like just super drunk. And everyone standing along the sideline. And it's so funny seeing like got someone dressed like a drunk Gumby, and he's yelling like, "Don't give up, man! You can do it!" And they're like trying to hand people beers like on the raceway and stuff. I was there on the corner right in Cleveland Circle when it's like a famous year when like this dude was like on pace to set the record by like 15 minutes or something, and he pulled a back muscle in like mile 22, and these drunk kids were like, "Don't give up, bro! Don't you give up!" And I'm like, "You're yelling at a Kenyan. You're yelling at him. You privileged like Jesuit school jerk, drunk. You're like, don't hang in there, buddy.
You know what
hang
the
in
super
there,
athlete
man."
needs? My one sentence of encouragement.
Right. Also, just the irony. This guy has overcome so much in his life to be about to set the record for the marathon, pulls a back muscle, and this drunk fat kid from
Where's your hustle?
from the Cape is like, "Duh, man, it's all there's no I in team." Just yelling something useless. All right, before we get out of here, Andrew, let's plug all your stuff again. What do you got coming up? You got shows in LA this weekend.
Shows in LA this week. If you're listening to this in the future, AndrewGeorgeHasAWebsite.com. Check out future dates there. Andrew.George on the Instagram. And then you just Google me. You'll figure it out.
And then also, August 24th, you'll be there at Mad Life,
yes,
right?
Mad
with
Life
me?
in Woodstock, Georgia. I'll
2
be there.
shows. And then this just got added. We're doing a little Patlanta Festival at Sweetwater on Sunday, August 26th from 3 to 6 or 12:30 to like 4, something like
Nice
that.
venue
I'll
change.
put up the details, but it's not maybe comedy, but we'll probably have some music and a ton of free beer, and you can donate money to
just a good time.
Pat's documentary. Jordan, maybe he'll be back on the show one of
Maybe.
these days. You're just gonna be a man of mystery, Jordan.
Taking things one day at a time.
You know what? That's the key to internships, man. You just got to disappear sometimes and then reemerge again.
Where'd
that guy go?
With Brad Nolan.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
S10 148 gigabyte, $10 a month, up to 20 or 50 month credit applied, then 2 bills are canceled early, mail balance due, limited basic up to 930, 20, pay $32 per month per line, auto pay, data deprioritization to congestion, speed maximum, 0 stores and restrictions apply.